Picture this. You wake up in the morning, shuffle to the bathroom, maybe feel a little stiff or dizzy. You chalk it up to age. That's just how it is now, you tell yourself. But what if I told you that every single night, while you're sleeping, something is happening inside your body that most doctors never warn you about, and that a simple, almost embarrassingly cheap drink, one your great-grandparents probably knew about, could be one of the most powerful things you do for your heart health. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why your blood behaves differently at night, what thick blood actually means for people over 60, and how a traditional Amish remedy that costs about $1 to make can support healthier blood flow while you sleep. No gimmicks, no pills to buy, just real information that matters to you. Let's start with something your doctor probably said in passing, but never really explained. Your blood is not the same all day long. During the day, you drink coffee, water, maybe some juice. You're moving around, your body is active, and your blood stays at a healthy consistency, thin enough to move easily through your veins and arteries, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every part of your body. That's exactly what you want. But at night, everything changes. When you sleep, you go 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours without drinking anything. Your body keeps working, breathing, pumping, filtering, but it's doing all of that without any new fluid coming in. As the hours pass, the water content in your blood gradually drops. And when that happens, your blood becomes more concentrated, thicker, stickier. Now, for a young person, this is manageable. Their blood vessels are flexible, their heart is strong, and their body adapts pretty well. But for someone over 60, this is where it gets serious. As we age, our blood vessels naturally become a little stiffer. Our circulation isn't quite as efficient as it used to be. And here's the thing nobody talks about. Thicker blood moves slower. It requires your heart to work harder to push it through. And when blood moves slowly through narrower, stiffer vessels, the risk of dangerous clots forming goes up. The risk of a blockage goes up. The risk of waking up feeling terrible, or worse, not waking up the way you planned, goes up. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up to something real. Because once you understand what's happening, you can do something about it. So what does thick blood actually look like in real life? What does it feel like? A lot of seniors describe waking up with headaches they can't explain. That foggy, heavy feeling in the morning that takes an hour or two to shake. Fingers and toes that feel cold or tingly when you first get out of bed. Some people notice their blood pressure reading is higher in the morning than it is later in the day. All of these can be signs that your blood viscosity, that's just a fancy word for how thick or thin your blood is working against you during the night. And here's the kicker. Most people reach for a blood pressure pill, a pain reliever, or a cup of coffee to deal with these morning symptoms. And all of that temporarily masks the problem without ever addressing the root cause. The root cause in many cases is that your blood is too thick at the exact moment your cardiovascular system is under the most stress. Now let's talk about the Amish. The Amish have been living simply for centuries. No processed food, no drive-thrus, hard physical labor, fresh air, and a deep tradition of home remedies passed down through generations. They don't rely on pharmacies the way most of us do. They rely on what works. And one of the most well-known remedies in Amish communities, something that's been made in their kitchens for generations, is a simple tonic made from apple cider vinegar, raw honey, and warm water. Sometimes with a pinch of cayenne or a squeeze of lemon. That's it. We're talking ingredients that together cost less than $1 per serving. Probably less than 50 cents if you buy them in bulk. Now, before you roll your eyes and click away, let me explain why this combination is actually supported by science. Real science, not just folk wisdom. Let's start with apple cider vinegar, because this is the heart of the drink. Apple cider vinegar, the raw, unfiltered kind with what's called the mother floating in it, contains something called acetic acid. Acetic acid has been studied for its effect on blood sugar regulation, and this matters enormously for blood thickness. Here's why. When your blood sugar spikes, even mildly, your blood becomes stickier. The sugar essentially makes blood cells clump together more easily, which increases the risk of clots and slows circulation. Apple cider vinegar, taken before bed, has been shown in multiple studies to help blunt those overnight blood sugar fluctuations. Steadier blood sugar means less sticky blood. It's that direct. On top of that, apple cider vinegar appears to support what's called fibrinolysis, which is your body's natural process of breaking down tiny clots before they become dangerous. Think of it as your body's built-in cleaning crew. Apple cider vinegar may help keep that crew working through the night. There's also research suggesting it has a mild effect on lowering LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, and reducing the oxidation of that cholesterol, which is what makes it dangerous in the first place. Oxidized cholesterol is what sticks to artery walls. Less oxidation means cleaner, more flexible vessels. And cleaner vessels mean better blood flow. Now let's talk about raw honey, because this isn't just there to make it taste better. Raw honey, not the processed stuff in the little bear-shaped bottle, but real unfiltered honey, is packed with antioxidants and enzymes that have been used medicinally for thousands of years. It contains flavonoids and polyphenols, which are compounds that help protect your blood vessels from inflammation and damage. Inflammation in your blood vessels is one of the biggest under-discussed drivers of cardiovascular problems in people over 60. When the inner lining of your vessels gets inflamed, it becomes rough instead of smooth. And rough vessel walls are exactly where blood clots like to stick and grow. Raw honey also has a gentle effect on sleep quality. It provides just enough natural sugar to keep your liver fueled through the night, which prevents a blood sugar dip that would otherwise trigger a stress hormone response, which, by the way, also thickens your blood. So the honey isn't just flavor, it's protective. And warm water? That one's simple, but don't underestimate it. Drinking even a small amount of warm liquid before bed helps offset that overnight dehydration we talked about at the beginning. Warm water specifically encourages gentle blood vessel dilation. It doesn't shock your system. It eases it into a calmer, more open state. Exactly what you want before you go 8 hours without any fluids. Some people add a small pinch of cayenne pepper to this drink. Cayenne contains capsaicin, which is the compound that gives it heat. Capsaicin has been studied for its ability to support circulation by encouraging blood vessels to stay open and flexible. Even a tiny amount, we're talking a quarter teaspoon or less, can make a meaningful difference. A squeeze of fresh lemon gives you a dose of vitamin C and supports your body's production of nitric oxide, a molecule that helps your blood vessels relax and widen. Wider vessels, thinner blood, easier flow. It all works together. So how do you actually make this drink? It's so simple it almost seems too easy. Here's what you do. Take about 8 ounces of warm water, not boiling, just comfortably warm, the kind you'd sip without flinching. Add 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Add 1 teaspoon of raw honey and stir until it dissolves. If you want the full version, squeeze in 1/4 of a lemon and add a tiny pinch of cayenne, just enough to feel a slight warmth, not enough to burn. Stir it all together and drink it slowly about 30 minutes before you go to bed. That's the whole recipe. Start with this 3 or 4 nights a week if you're new to apple cider vinegar, because some people's stomachs need a little time to adjust. After a week or so, most people do perfectly fine drinking it every night. And if straight apple cider vinegar ever feels too sharp on your stomach, try diluting it a little more or taking it with a small snack. One important note, if you're on blood thinners prescribed by your doctor, please have a conversation with them before adding this to your routine. Not because this drink is dangerous, but because if you're already taking a medication that affects your blood, you want your doctor to know what you're combining it with. Same goes for anyone with diabetes managing their blood sugar with medication. Apple cider vinegar genuinely affects blood sugar levels, which means your dosage management may need a small adjustment. These are conversations worth having. Don't skip them. Now let me tell you what people actually notice when they start drinking this consistently. Within the first week, many people report sleeping more soundly, not dramatically, but noticeably. They wake up feeling less foggy, that heavy-headed morning feeling starts to lift. Some people notice their morning blood pressure readings begin to trend a little lower over time. Others find their energy in the morning feels more even and steady rather than sluggish. These aren't overnight miracle results. This isn't a drug. What you're doing is giving your body a consistent nightly nudge in the right direction. You're reducing the overnight dehydration spike, supporting steadier blood sugar, feeding your vessels with anti-inflammatory compounds, and helping your body's natural circulation maintenance do its job a little better. Night after night, that adds up. And here's something worth sitting with for a moment. The Amish who drink versions of this tonic aren't doing it because they read a study. They're doing it because generation after generation, they watched it work. They watched their grandparents stay sharp, stay mobile, stay out of the hospital well into old age. There's something to be said for that kind of evidence. It's slower than a clinical trial, but it's real. Let's bring this home. You are over 60. Your body is remarkable. It has carried you through decades of life, but it needs different support now than it did at 35. The things that are quietly working against you, the overnight blood thickening, the gradual stiffening of vessels, the low-grade inflammation that builds up over years, these are not things you have to just accept. Some of the most powerful tools against them are sitting in your kitchen pantry right now. 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon of raw honey, a cup of warm water, a pinch of cayenne, a squeeze of lemon if you want it. 30 minutes before bed, less than $1 a night. Is this a cure for everything? No. Is it a replacement for your doctor's advice? Absolutely not. But is it a simple, time-tested, scientifically supported habit that could meaningfully support your heart, your circulation, and the quality of your sleep as you age? Based on everything we know, yes, it genuinely could be. So tonight, before you go to bed, try it. Just once. See how you feel in the morning. Give it a week. Your blood and your heart will thank you.